Please join us for our opening hymn from This Bright Hour. From this bright hour and days to come, as we have gathered into one, open the gates and the light will shine all around. Let there be light. Wounds of the world begin to heal as peace with justice is made real. Open the gates and the light will shine all around. Let there be light. All are welcome, all invited, with open hearts and open minds. In our living, in our learning, may we always be searching for truth and light. Now is the hour, join in the song, here in this place where we belong. Open the gates and the light will shine all around. Let there be light.
Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Portland, where our mission is to nurture the individual spirit and to build the beloved community. We're so glad you are with us this morning for our family worship service. Thank you for joining us. And every Sunday, we light a chalice. And for today, our chalice lighting will be offered by Martha Jones, a member of the RE committee, and Brian Setzler, a longtime volunteer with the learning community. If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to light it now.
We are Unitarian Universalists.
We light this chalice in faith, in hope, and in love.
Actress and LGBTQ+ advocate Laverne Cox said, "Define yourself in your own terms. We are who we know ourselves to be, and we are what we love. You are not alone in who you are. Come and let us worship together." Today I have a story to share with you called When Aiden Became a Brother. It's written by Kyle Lukoff and illustrated by Keilani Juanita. When Aiden was born, everyone thought he was a girl. His parents gave him a pretty name. His room looked like a girl's room, and he wore clothes that other girls liked wearing. But as Aiden got bigger, he hated the sound of his name. He felt like his room belonged to someone else, and he always ripped or stained his clothes accidentally on purpose. Everyone thought he was just a different kind of girl. Some girls had rooms full of science experiments and bug collections. Lots of girls didn't wear dresses. But Aiden didn't feel like any kind of girl. He was really another kind of boy. It was hard to tell his parents what he knew about himself, but it was even harder not to. It took everyone some time to adjust, and they learned a lot from other families with transgender kids like him. Aiden explored different ways of being a boy. He tried out lots of names until one stuck. They changed his bedroom into a place where he belonged. He also took much better care of his new clothes. Then one day, Mom and Dad had something to tell him. "I'm going to have a baby," Mom announced. "A baby?" Aiden said. "Does that mean I get to be a big brother?" Of course, said Dad, ruffling his hair. Aiden thought that being a big brother was an important job for a boy like him. He wanted to make sure this baby would feel understood right away. The baby needed clothes, so Aiden and his mom went shopping. There were so many clothes. Would the baby like seahorses or penguins better? Are you having a boy or girl? Asked a lady. Aiden didn't like it when people asked if he was a boy or a girl, and he hoped the baby couldn't hear yet. He was glad when Mom just smiled and said, I'm having a baby. The baby's room needed to be painted, so Aiden and his dad went to the hardware store. Dad chose a gallon of sky blue paint, and Aiden added a puffy cloud white. Are you excited for your new brother or sister? Asked the paint guy. I'm excited to be a big brother, Aiden said. The paint guy looked confused. Aiden could tell that he wanted to ask a different question and was glad to have his dad there. The big rollers were fun to paint with. This room feels just like being outside, Aiden exclaimed. He had always felt trapped in his bedroom before they fixed it, but his new sibling wouldn't have to feel that way. You're right, said Dad. Let's make some shapes in the clouds. And every baby needs a name. Aiden loved getting to choose his own, but he remembered that it had been hard for his parents to let go of the name they gave him. He looked for names that could fit this new person, no matter who they grew up to be. Babies need someone to read to them, so Aiden practiced and practiced and practiced. Dad wanted to teach Aiden how to change diapers. Maybe later, said Aiden. He decided that picking flowers for his mom was more important. 2 weeks before the baby's due date, Aiden started to worry. Maybe he should have picked different clothes. The blue walls might be too bright. He wished he could ask the baby which name they liked best. Mom came to tuck him in. Are you feeling okay, sweetie? She asked. Aiden put his hands over where he thought the baby's ears would be. Do you think the baby will be happy with everything? He whispered. I don't want them to feel like I did when I was little. But what if I get everything wrong? What if I don't know how to be a good big brother? Mom hugged him tight. When you were born, we didn't know you were going to be our son. We made some mistakes, but you helped us fix them. And you taught us how important it is to love someone for exactly who they are. This baby is so lucky to have you, and so are we. The next morning, Aiden found the boxes of his old baby pictures. He looked so different back then. It hadn't been easy, but he liked the boy he was growing into. Maybe everything wouldn't be perfect for this baby. Maybe he would have to fix mistakes he didn't even know he was making. And maybe that was okay. Aiden knew how to love someone, and that was the most important part of being a big brother. We've been exploring the theme of wholeness this month. We've talked about how each of us is special just as we are. Does that remind you of the first principle of Unitarian Universalism? We believe that every person is important. Being true to ourselves means being and becoming who we are meant to be and living our lives in the ways that are true and meaningful for us while doing what we believe is right. That is part of what makes us whole people, our wholeness. Receiving affirmation from others especially those we love, is important in finding this sense of wholeness. And likewise, they count on us for support and encouragement. But sometimes we make mistakes. Our words or actions may cause harm, even if we didn't mean for that to happen. Maybe this has happened to you before, when someone said something that hurt your feelings and they just didn't understand. But there are opportunities to fix mistakes. In the story, when Aiden's parents realized that he was so unhappy because he didn't feel free to be himself, they learned how to do things differently to help Aiden find his sense of wholeness, to be Aiden. Learning and growing together, especially as part of a community of families, helped them all become more whole. Does that remind you of our third principle of Unitarian Universalism? We learn from one another and grow wiser together. When Aiden was preparing to become a big brother, he began to worry that he may not always know how to do everything just right for this baby, while accepting them as they are, as whoever they are meant to be. Then he realized he already knew the most important thing. We all make mistakes in our relationships, and Aiden will too. But love is what helps us be open to learning from our mistakes and what allows others and ourselves to heal. Love makes us whole.
Today's special music is about finding your own inner strength. Just like Aiden in our story, finding strength to go on when you're on a new journey can be really scary. Maybe it's a new baby coming to the house, or maybe you're a little nervous about going back to school after being gone for almost a year. This song offers some advice on how you can take these steps forward with love. Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds, try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears, go ahead, release your fears, stand up and be counted, don't be afraid to cry. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Herald what your mother said, read the books your father read, try to solve the puzzles in your own sweet time. Some may have more cash than you, others take a different view. My, yeah. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. Time asks no questions, it goes on without you, leaving you behind if you can't stand the pace. The world keeps on spinning, can't stop it if you try to. The best part of danger is staring you in the face. Remember, listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds, try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears, go ahead, release your fears. My You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is love will save the day.
For our meditation today, we uplift the first principle of Unitarian Universalism: how each of us is born with worth and dignity. We honor the diversity of ways in which people live and people love. And we acknowledge that justice, fairness, and equality can only flourish when all people can live and love and learn and grow in ways that are meaningful and true for them. We invite you to join us for a minute of reflection on the blessings of diversity within all people that enriches us all.
May you have the courage to be you, to always listen to your heart. May we support one another as we discover what sets us free. When there is harm done, may we always be called back to love, for love is what makes us whole. This is the day we have been given. Let us rejoice in it and be glad. Go in peace, practice love. Amen.
Please join us for our closing hymn, Walk Together, Children. Walk together, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. I'm gonna walk and never tire. Walk and never tire. Walk and never tire. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Sing together, children, don't you get weary. Sing together, children, don't you get weary. Sing together, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. I'm gonna sing and never tire. Sing and never tire. Sing and never tire. promised land. Oh, shout together, children, don't you get weary. Shout together, children, don't you get weary. Shout together, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. I'm gonna shout and never tire. Shout and never tire. Shout and never tire. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Walk together, children, don't you get weary. Sing together, children, don't you get weary. Shout together, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.